Oh, what did I get in here? Holy cow, that was quick.
Hank Snow is ready to go.
Hank's on top of it, man. Ooh. Like this. Oh, we're getting a couple guys in here. What's up, Carl? Hank, T. Harris, Georgia Bassmaster. He's getting ready to. He'll be hitting the screen here shortly. Let's see. Watching you had a great day on Egypt yesterday. That's awesome. Oklahoma's worst angler. What's up, Bugley? Where's Ochi at? VP Fishing, what's going on, man? Let's see, Steve Rowe, hey, Grave. Content from this week can help when I hit Egypt yesterday. Good stuff.
Nice.
There you go. Jay Basson, how's it going, man? Wait to get a couple of guys in here. We do have a guest for tonight. If you guys can see him back on the TV back there, but it's not showing up real well. But it's actually Georgia Bassmaster. We'll have him on here in just a few minutes.
Okay, I just saw that from Steve.
Yeah.
Content. Good deal, man. Yeah, there was the Egypt Winter Series was Sunday, and it took 17 pounds to win. They keep 4 fish.
Dang.
Yeah,
that's is that 1 over or 2 overs?
That's 4 overs.
4. Holy cow.
Yeah. Miss Agerson and Niswanger won it. I think they had their big bass was like a 7 something. So they had that 7 sucker was their anchor fish.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I can't say much. I pulled one out last year, so
yeah.
It's probably hiding in the logs somewhere because I was seeing this past weekend. Yeah, dude, I seen his video, Alex. So it was a pretty tough day. So
Steve says it was tough out there. Yeah, my buddy Ron fished that tournament, and we're gonna have him as a guest here sometime in the next month or so. Next week. That's right. Yeah, he's gonna be here next week. He's a smallmouth guide up on the Lacs. Real good fisherman. He fished that tournament, and he kind of struggled too.
Yeah, he was trying to get me to come over to get my butt whooped by a local guy.
Yeah. I was working on my boat, man. They're still in that winter pattern though. I mean,
I'm sure. Yeah,
still shad deal.
My fish. I mean, I was starting to see them come up to the banks and start rolling around a little bit in the grass, getting a little warm. And what's that? Friday? We had 9 degrees or whatever.
Yeah.
And everything froze back over. Yeah. Finally, Saturday evening, it finally thawed out. And they're gone. They're nowhere to be found. They're back out deep again. So
yeah, we had those 2 cold days, Friday and Saturday. Saturday warmed up a little bit, but it was cold in the morning.
And I guess Thursday now it's going to do it again.
Is it really?
Like a high of 34 again. So
yeah, wow, man.
And I think it's Wednesday and Thursday or Thursday and Friday, 1 or 2. I don't remember what it was.
What's up, Chris? What's up, David? Hey guys, how is the audio sounding tonight? I know last week we praised this microphone, but I think we had a syncing issue because it sounded like we had some voice disguiser thing on one of those murder mystery channel things. You know, it was just real delayed. I'm wondering what the audio sounds like.
Kind of sound like they both hit puberty for a second time.
Like way past puberty.
Yeah. And smoke about 30 packs of cigarettes a day.
I think we just had a bad USB cord. That's what I'm hoping. Sounds good. No reverb. Awesome. Yeah, the reverb thing's going to happen if it does when we get our guest on here. That's another thing we're going to have to look out. So we need your feedback on that because we can't hear it here. It sounds fine to us. So when we get our guest on there, we'll try to remember to ask you how the audio sound. And there'll be, if it's not proper, there'll be some feedback and some reverb going on. So hopefully that won't be an issue.
And I have a really serious question here. Does it bother you guys that we're looking at the screen and not looking like up here at the actual camera? I mean, would you guys prefer us looking at the camera, or is it okay looking at the screen? I mean, eventually we have to look at the screen every once in a while, just read comments, but you know, we were kind of wondering that last time we were going to try to move the camera around, do some other things, just kind of wondering how much it mattered.
Yeah, because what we've got is we've got the webcam is right above the computer monitor. And so what we're looking at, we're not looking into the camera. This is looking into the camera, but we can't see ourselves, and then we can't see any of the comments. So just curious about that. We're just trying to make this the best that we can for you guys.
Looking at the screen, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, and even David, were you saying it was our voices were real deep again? Because I'll say you were the one that pointed it out last time. I didn't realize it, but
David says not great deep. Okay. What's up, Moxon? What's up, BP Fishing? Oklahoma's worst. Okay. Steve says he's here for the audio, not our beautiful faces.
Oh man.
Well, that's
what's he trying to say here.
So we got radio faces.
We're
trying to make it work. I shave my sideburns, man.
Okay. So I'm gonna wait just a minute to get Georgia Bassmaster on here. He's actually gonna look to see. He's gonna plug his headphones into his phone and see if he can do it that way. We're just kind of. It's gonna depend on how much of a delay there is. So
Doug says we still have that little deep voice.
That sounds good.
That's interesting. I don't quite understand why that's going on.
I don't know. I mean,
it's got to be this new program that we're on. It has to be. You know.
But we used it. Do we have it before?
I don't know. I don't think we've used this program with combination with this mic.
Didn't we with Matt?
Yeah, but that was when we had the low sounding voice.
Yeah.
Remember, that was last week.
That's right.
So the week before would have been the first time we used that, and it sounded okay. But did we use this?
Yeah, we even went back and listened to it.
And it sounded good.
We didn't have anybody on that week, did we?
No. So was that playing into it somehow? It's interesting.
I don't know.
Gonna have to try to troubleshoot that. So as long as you guys are okay with us sounding like we're
OG's in the house.
We could talk a little bit higher to offset the pitch.
Yes, your voices are really deep.
Dang. Okay.
That's my wife. We're just manly.
Manly. Well, we apologize.
I said I don't know of any other settings on it you can change that would make it any different either. So I don't know.
Changes.
What's that?
Does that make a difference at all, guys? It's probably still the same. Put it on the instrument setting on this. So we're gonna sit here and see if we can talk for 30 minutes about what this microphone sounds like. Screen's gonna go black.
Oh, Shrek's in the house. Shrek.
Good movies.
Sounds like you have a cold. Well,
okay. I guess
I don't know.
Have to do something about this mic.
Try that one.
It's the middle.
Is that the middle setting? That's the flat sound, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be flat. It sounds like it's just a syncing problem. So, all right, man, we're just gonna have a good time. We are gonna have.
And nobody listened to this lady. She has no idea what she's talking about.
That changed it for the better, huh? So I put it on the flat setting.
See, that's what I was wondering. I've never seen a light on either side.
Yeah, it's in the middle now. So we'll see. I don't know. It's interesting. This is a great mic. It's just
it's got to be something. It's probably the wire or something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So what's been going on? Anybody been doing any fishing or anything? I saw a couple people went to Egypt, caught some fish. I haven't been for like a week and a half. I fished in the pond a little bit. That's what I did. Yeah, I fished today, and I made about 20 casts, and I never got a bite. It was kind of slow. I know there was a bunch of people fishing in the pond yesterday. There was like probably 10 people from subdivision casting. I didn't see anybody catch anything, but I wasn't really staring at them or anything. Been working on my boat, man. It's like, God, dude, I got the wiring all the way done. Finally, 4 days worth of wiring. If anybody's ever wired a boat, they can appreciate it. But if you haven't, it takes a lot more work than what you visualize.
I did my lights last year and a new pump, and they were both run up through the gunnels, and that was a royal pain in the butt.
Yeah,
I mean, there is no room in there at all. It is terrible.
Did it have foam sprayed in there and stuff?
No, mine was like the Rangers had the foam in there. Mine were actually PVC pipe, and then it was fiberglass over that.
Mm-hmm.
But trying to get through with them other wires and cables, oh, it's a nightmare.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. When I bought my Ranger, I ran it had hummingbird stuff, old hummingbird stuff, and I ran all the Lowrance stuff, and it was a nightmare. It was a lot of work, you know.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Hank, you probably deserve to get blown off Toho for all the fish pictures you send us while we're up here in snow and ice. Of course, he had a good one. Or was it last week? I think he had about a 4-pounder on there, or a little over 4.
Steve says yesterday was beautiful Egypt. Man, I bet it was. Yesterday was a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was nice out.
I was working on the boat. I had the garage door open, and it was just really, really nice.
I got the water out of my boat yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
You got to get into cover, man.
Well, I got the tarp on there, which holds all the water, but it kept falling down in the boat. So the tarp had a big old pool of water in there.
Oh, gosh.
I had to get a pump it out. There was no lifting that out.
See, Isaac said he went today. He said it was brutal. Caught a couple fish dragging a jig on deep rock. Yeah, this is that time of year where you can go fishing 5 days in a row and have one good day, and the rest of the days are pretty tough.
If you're lucky, sometimes.
Yeah, their fish are just really, really finicky.
Jason Murdahl says, "What's up? Placed my first order with moccasin lures, 2 finesse jigs, 3 swim jigs, 3 flipping jigs. Thanks, Blue. Oh, where'd he go? Blue Eyes for a discount. Oh, that's no problem, dude.
That's a good
awesome.
mix.
Yeah,
it's a good mix.
Like I said, you'll be on some good ones shortly with them.
What colors did you go with, Jason? I'm curious what caught your eye. I've had a lot of success with that. The melon color on the finesse jig. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good color. Yeah. And that crawdaddy. I like that crawdaddy too.
That crawdaddy is going to play big here another month.
Yeah. I love that orange in the spring.
Yep. So Steve says he wired his aluminum craft 2 weeks.
I believe it, Steve. It does suck. I agree, man. I got it. So what I did is, I've got some stuff that's wired up in the front, and then it also has to be wired. I had a little switch panel in the front underneath the trolling motor. So I have my nav light and my recirculation pump to my live well wired up to that front switch panel. And then on the rear switch panel, I also had to wire up that front nav light. And so you got to run double wires, and then you got to join them together, butt them together in certain sections. And I probably got like 15 wires running inside my ribs down the boat. And then on the other side, I got all my electronics. So I tried to run the trolling motor and everything else, the trolling motor wires and everything on one side, and then all my electronics on the other side, just to hopefully keep the interference down. And then you try to be neat about it. You get back there in that back storage area where your batteries are, and it looks like somebody dropped like 5-gallon bucket of spaghetti back there. It's a mess. You start kind of cable tying stuff.
You get one spark and you don't know which one to go after.
Yeah, you don't know, man. I labeled everything too. I took white. This is something, if you guys ever do a project where you're wiring a boat, do yourself a favor and take an extra minute on each wire and take some white electrical tape. Just cut a little like 3-inch piece, wrap it around that wire, and take you a black Sharpie and write where that wire goes to. Because when you try to troubleshoot with just a bunch of wires and nothing labeled, it's ridiculous. It's already hard enough seeing what it is. I mean,
yeah. But you see Hank up here? Right there.
Every fish I catch, I think of you guys. Thank Hank. Thanks. That's flattering, Hank.
Yeah. And then he decides to post a picture on every one of them for me.
Mm-hmm.
He's scrolling through and like, oh, well, there's Hank.
Shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I feel you.
See, Doug says, still no fishing, but went to the Indianapolis Boat and Sports and Travel Show yesterday. Want to do that just means getting closer to better fishing weather? Absolutely,
yeah.
Doug.
That's fun. I mean, if you can't go fishing, go to a sports show.
Yeah.
Or watch some YouTube stuff.
So Craig's got a pretty good question here. Any tips for early spring swim jig? Never really use them. I'll throw one tip out there. We'll let Gabe throw a couple out here, whatever. Number one tip I can tell you in spring that I really, really like is I keep it pretty simple with colors. I use white. The white and chartreuse moccasin swim jigs. You can look at his on his
website.
Well, on his website, I was going to tell the name of it. I just drew a blank. But his white and chartreuse one, you'll see it on there, is a great color all around for throwing, early spring like that. As far as the trailer goes, I usually stick with a Menace or the Speed Crawl. The Speed Crawl is a really, really good one to use too. And I keep them both white too.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I would add to that is I like to throw in that black and blue swim jig. And typically you're going to get a little bit of stained water this time of year. We've had a lot of rain in the winter, and that water has got some stain to it. So when it's stained, either the white or the black and the blue will work. Sometimes it's if you see a lot of people throwing that shad colored stuff, mix it up with that black and blue and get you some more bites. But same kind of trailers. The Menace, the Speed Crawl is a really good one. You can even go to that bigger Speed Crawl, and the Z Crawl is a good one. You can throw a Z Crawl on there, and you can actually, if you wanted to stay up higher in the water column, you can rig it up where it's horizontal. And if you wanted to go a little bit deeper, put it vertical. That's just there's less surface area to create lift. So that's another thing you got to think about with that swim jig is if you're fishing really shallow or you're trying to get down there deep. What's your go-to weight? You throw half ounce, don't you?
I throw half ounce and 3/8 usually. But just like he said, switching that trailer up and turning it and everything else, that's one of the reasons I throw the Menace. The Menace is a little bit bulkier of a bait and has more lift to it, so it's actually going to get up higher. And then when I want to get a little bit deeper, I go with the Speed Crawl. It's a little bit slimmer profile. It comes to the water good. Doesn't have nearly as much drag on the pinchers on the end of it. So
right, yeah. Usually when I'm throwing something that's mimicking a shad, I put a small swim bait on there. I'll put like that. It is Reaction Innovations. It's the Little Dipper. It's like the Skinny Dipper, but it's a smaller version of that. Or I would say like a Kitech, probably a 3.8. Maybe even a 3.5 on there is a good swim bait to throw on the back of a swim jig. I throw that quite a bit, and that skips really well. I mean, they all skip really well. The swim jig's a good skipping bait. But yeah, those are something that that's what we would go with. And then you got to figure out how deep the fish are. If you're fishing, the water's still in that low 50s, and you got kind of some funky weather going on. The fish are probably backed out a little bit, so you might have to get out there in that 8 to 12 foot zone and just slow roll that that swim jig, make a long cast, let it sink down. Typically I'm throwing it along the outside grass line, so if the grass is topping out or the grass is stopping in that, it's usually about 8 foot, that's what I'm going to be targeting on, because they'll usually pull out of that grass and just kind of sit on the line there, and you can cast down that line, catch some fish doing that.
I'm going to send this real quick and get him going here.
Let's see. Kathy B64.
I want to save. Let's save this. Where we go here. I want to save that one. Right
okay, I was getting ready to.
I want to wait till he. Yeah, I want to wait till he gets on there.
Okay.
There.
Excellent. Yeah, if we don't get to that question, Kathy, hit us back. Repost that question so it comes up later down in the comments, because we want to talk about that with Georgia Bassmaster.
Yep.
So where are we at here?
Oh, there he is. All right. All right, there he is.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm just going to turn my volume down just a little bit so I don't get an echo.
Gotcha. All right, so first of all, you want to introduce yourself on here. Kind of tell them, about your YouTube channel and stuff like that, where they can get a hold of you if they want to watch or whatever, what you do. So,
yeah, I have a small YouTube channel just like you guys, I guess. Trying to get a little bit bigger. Basically, I live in Georgia, Northwest region, 45 miles west of Atlanta, if you guys might know where that's at. Pretty close to the Alabama line. And get a little bit of a echo on here.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. If it gets bad, let us know.
Yeah. I was telling Greg that my headphone jack's actually broken. And I was trying to listen on my phone, but there's a little bit of a delay doing it that way. So I guess I'll just have to keep the volume as low as I can.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good right now, so you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. How's it sounding out there, guys, in comment land? Is it reverbing back like it was last week? We had a little bit of problem. Tom says there's a little bit of an echo.
Move this back.
Move it back. Okay. We're still trying to dial all this in, man.
Yeah. Trying to get everything situated to where it works good.
Yeah. So how's the fishing down there in Georgia right now?
This is my favorite time of the year to fish. That January to February, March. It's probably the best time of year down here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The water temperature last time I was out was 52, 53 degrees, but that's prime weather to me.
Yeah, I'd like some of that. We got mid 40s right now, water temps. So fish are still kind of slow. I mean,
did you say mid 40s?
Yeah, I mean, most of the lakes are about mid 40s. Not farm ponds. Farm ponds are like high 30s right now.
I was gonna say, well, like up in the 30s.
You guys have been getting a lot of rain down there?
Man, I think my reservoir I fished was about 2 foot above max level last time I was out. It was over the sidewalks and the boat ramp was flooded. So I think it's nonstop rained here for about 4 weeks now.
Jeez, I didn't realize that.
It's pretty rough.
There's a comment up here. We're gonna kind of go over real quick before I lose it here. Right here. So we'll kind of get your opinion, and we'll kind of talk our opinions too, and see what you actually prefer.
All right. Yeah. My favorite fluorocarbon is probably P-line or Berkeley Vanish. That's usually what I throw on my like jigs or things that go deeper, or maybe a big swim bait. I'll throw fluoro, and top water I usually throw a monofilament, maybe a trilene extra strength, maybe a Strin. But I don't really throw any braid at all. I know that's an unpopular opinion in the fishing community, but I'm just not a braid fan. I'll throw it every now and then, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Got you.
Sounds like you got a lot of different companies you like the line by. P-line, Strand. I use Sunline a lot. That's always worked pretty good for me. I got a buddy that uses P-line religiously. You know, he's a P-line guy. So you a P-line guy?
Yeah. I mean, as far as fluorocarbon goes, I'm definitely P-line all the way. Now I have been testing the waters with Seaguar. I really like the Seaguar.
Right.
But in just my opinion, just feeling it for the first time, for whatever reason, and maybe I'm completely nuts, but it felt like it was a little bit smaller diameter than what the P-line was. I don't know if you've ever noticed that with Seaguar fluorocarbon, but it seemed a little bit smaller. I haven't had any, I just started probably, I don't know, 3 months ago, really starting to throw it a little bit. So I haven't had much experience with it yet, but I mean, I don't know. Seem to like it, especially for like square bills and stuff. Comes to the water.
Yeah. Well, I mean the small diameter line is a good thing sometimes,
right,
as long as you're not breaking off with it.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, compared to the P-line, I was surprised at how much smaller diameter it was. But
so I got a question for you, man. What kind of boat are you fishing out of? It looks really unique.
I have a 1971 14-foot John boat.
Yeah.
So I think it's a Sears model, but it's pretty old. But I've definitely, put the new paint job on it. So I think it is one of a kind, like you said.
Yeah. I saw that video, man. I like the paint job on it. That's pretty sweet.
You still got your stickers on the side?
Do what?
Do you still have your stickers on the side?
Yes.
So who you in your videos you're fishing with one person quite often? Who is that exactly?
It's usually my dad.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I didn't know.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I fish with a couple of buddies of mine. I alternate in videos, but 90% of the time it's me and my dad. So
now
we usually only go once a week, like every Saturday, and that's me and dad day. So
yeah. Now is he still showing you how to fish, or are you showing him how to fish yet?
Do what?
I said, is he still showing you how to fish? Or are you showing him how to fish yet? Or now?
I try to show him new tricks, but sometimes he teaches me that the old ways work better.
Yeah, I bet. So you guys, you're fishing. Do you fish multiple bodies of water in that area, or are you fishing a lot of the same lake? It seems like there's one lake that you fish quite a bit.
Right. Yeah. I mainly fish one reservoir. I'll go fish a couple of bigger bodies of water with my friends, but the reservoir we fish is the county reservoir, and we've been fishing it for 10 years. And I think we know every single log, every drop off, everything in that lake. So kind of know it like the back of our hand.
Yeah, you guys have it dialed in. It's obvious you guys catch some good fish out there. Is that does it have any grass in it?
Yes, it'll grow up pretty thick late summer, but for the most part right now there's not any grass in it at all.
Okay.
Other than like bulrush or something, but that's about it.
So it will get coontail and, you know, aquatic underwater grass and everything in the summertime.
Yeah, mainly hydrilla.
Hydrilla. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot you were down south, man. We don't have the hydrilla around here. It's the coontail and the milfoil mainly.
Yeah, we got a ton of milfoil.
Yeah, that's our go-to grass. So what's been going on? You got any plans for the year as far as the channel, or are you just going to keep chugging along? Any goals or?
Just really trying to cross that 2,000 mark and get monetized, and maybe I've really been pushing on getting a PB more than anything.
What's your PB now?
The biggest I've ever caught was 10.8, and I got it about 9 or 10 years ago, and I just have not been able to beat it.
A struggle, man. Struggle is real.
Yeah, we're struggling for 8s.
Yeah.
Struggling for 10s.
Yeah, I got it. If I can tilt my camera, it's
Oh yeah.
it's that one. There you go. But
You guys, his cousin over there is pretty big too.
yeah, it was about 9.5. That was my first mount I ever did. So it seems like once you get over that 8 or 9 mark, they're just impossible to catch almost until you get down to those South Florida guys. They catch them all the time.
Right. Or Texas, California.
Or California, any of those.
Yeah, I was listening to Bass Talk Live on the way up here. I don't know if you ever listened to Bass Talk Live, the podcast, but they were talking about, there was a BFL at Sam Rayburn this weekend, and the guy caught a little over 40 pounds, 5 fish, 40 pounds.
Wow.
Second place was 19 pounds, 1 ounce. So he doubled second place's weight in a tournament. Wow. That's just, yeah, unbelievable.
We're going to try this.
I will tell you, I know you commented on the picture on Instagram, but about a week ago, I got a 27-pound sack. So that was a crazy day.
That's pretty solid, man. That's very, very solid. Yeah, we don't. We'll get there's a couple lakes around here that produce that. I've caught that a few times in spring, but it's not a regular occurrence by any means.
Right.
You know, Drew Huff up here said the only thing I can catch them on in Idaho is a jerkbait and a drop shot. Yeah. I would not want to be in Idaho. Oh, that's two of my worst things I hate to throw.
Me too.
So you're still catching them on moving baits, right?
Yes, and to me right now, bigger is better. Like I'll probably be throwing this weekend, the 8-inch swim bait. So
nice. Yeah, I asked you about that, about what swim baits to pick up, because I don't have a lot of experience with anything like that. I've thrown some 7-inch soft plastic swim baits.
Right.
Caught fish on them.
Yeah,
I got this a good starter one is that Mega Bass I was telling you about, the Mag Draft.
Right.
And this is only a 6-inch soft bait. So, and it's got the magnet on the bottom and everything. So that's a good starter one for anybody, really.
What color do you recommend?
I got the albino shad, but they have a bunch of different color options, but I did the tail in red.
Red. Okay. Makes sense. So what was that hard bait you were showing us, that swim bait?
I can't tell you the exact name of it, but I ordered it off Amazon. I ordered that one and a little bit smaller 6-inch version. And they were only like $12, $14 a piece, which it really isn't that bad for a swim bait.
They look really good.
Some of those hard swim baits, you go on Tackle Warehouse and they're $80. So
yeah, we had a company hit us up was it probably a month and a half ago.
What was
Said,
that?
"Hey, come check out our swim baits and this and that." So we looked at it after we got done with the live stream, and the first one we see on it was like $499. I was like, there is no way.
Yeah. If you get that hung on a log, I'm diving down and we're going snorkeling.
Yeah. I mean, that's something you tie on a 100-pound braid, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I ain't losing that.
Yeah. $12, $14. That's that's a lot of money, but that doesn't hurt near as bad as something that's 40 and $50. I want to get some of the HUDs, like the 68 deluxes. I'm going to be picking some of those up. I try to pick out a new technique every year to learn. I think I'm going to start throwing that big stuff around.
Well, 12 or $14, that's probably at least how much Alabama rig costs, right? I mean, after you consider the umbrella and all the heads and you probably got $15 and at least in a rig, I would guess.
Oh, it's
yeah,
more than that.
Yeah, I was thinking more like
I'm saying bare
20, 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on what you did. I was looking at some I buy a lot of generic swim bait heads, like just for the A-rig. You know, you can buy a 25 pack for, I don't know, like $12 or something off of eBay. But if you go to like say Picasso, they want, like $1.50 a jig head. And so you start loading your A-rig up with that, and then you get some nice swim baits. And yeah, man, it hurts when you lose one.
Now here, I got a question for you on A-rigs. Either one of you guys, if you throw them, when you get your A-rig, your jig heads, are you going with that 90-degree jig head? Or are you going with the 70 or no?
30. They have 30 degree is a popular one. 30-degree line tie.
30, yeah.
And the 90.
30 and the 90, yeah. What did I say?
That's what you said, right?
Yeah. So which one are you preferring?
I'd probably go with the 30 myself. But
yep. Same here. That's pretty common.
Yeah, I see a lot of them with the 90s. That's what I was asking. So and they get hung up a bunch.
Yeah, they all get hung up the same. I mean, you're down there on the bottom dragging that thing around. You got 5 hooks. It's going to grab something eventually.
Yeah. Well, I meant with each other, not necessarily.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's just part of it.
This Aaron guy in here, man, we're going to do something with him. He's been giving us crap, telling us that we've got to be smarter than our equipment that we're using.
yeah.
He keeps it up. I'm going to go start pushing buttons on his new boat over there and mess it up again. He's got to take it back.
Aaron just got a new Triton, like a 20-footer, brand new Triton. So he's all excited, happy. He's ready to go out and show the world his new boat. It's a nice boat.
Yeah, real nice.
Bright blue.
Let's see. Chuck made it on. He's got a question here. Sees, what is your recommendation for Lake Fork in mid-April? My son and I are going down there for a fishing trip. I've never been there.
Click it up on there for him.
Yeah, that might be something for you there. You may be able to answer that.
You ever been to Fork?
I have never been to Fork. No. But
Me either.
I
Only
would
Fork I
definitely
get is when I eat dinner.
Yeah. I know it's one guy I would say probably definitely to go check out would be Billy Lawson over at Lake Fork Guide.
Right.
He's got a YouTube channel he does. He does little or they're not live streams necessarily. They're I guess he just meets at the local tackle shop and kind of talks to everybody about what baits they're using, what should be working, and stuff like that. That's somebody I would go check out. You probably get a lot of information out of him.
Yeah, they're dialed in down there. Him and Captain Ron, they got that place figured out. They're full-time guides down there. Another guy that fishes Rayburn a lot has a channel. His name's Ken Smith. I watched some of his stuff, but he's usually got a weekly Sam Rayburn report. I know that's a different lake, but it's similar area, so you can kind of get an idea of what they're doing down there in that area.
Billy Lawson has a seminar on YouTube once a week.
Yeah. So anybody on here got some questions for Georgia Bassmaster? We'll keep him on here for just a little bit more, and
just not his name. See, did Aaron buy his boat at Let's Go Fishing Show? It wasn't. Yes. Okay, you answered right underneath there. I'll say I knew it was a fishing show. I just didn't know which one it was. And Steve Rohn said $30 for a Huddleston or more. Yeah, Steve, I'd agree. They're $30. I know I got the Huddleston 68 special, and that's a hard swim bait to to beat. I mean, just the overall action of that thing was just unbelievable. Seeing it out of the package and swimming it through the shallows, that thing was unreal.
I got a question for you, Georgia Bassmaster. You throw in a chatterbait a lot. Do you have a opinion on a different brand of chatterbait, or like even within the chatterbait lineup, you got the just original, but you got the jackhammer? I mean, does it seem to make a difference for you?
I buy the $4.99 original chatterbaits all day. I've tried the jackhammers, and it's just not worth the $18 or the $12 difference, in my opinion. They say the vibrations might be a little different, or it doesn't really matter, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
So there's a good question for you there.
What rods do I prefer and why?
You got Skeet Reese rods, right?
I do. I have 2 Skeet Reese rods. Those have been pretty good for me. I shop all around. I'm not very brand specific. I have a couple of Lew's rods. I like those. I have a couple of Abu Garcia. Like I have the Abu Garcia Vengeance rod. I have another Abu Garcia. I think it's a different version of the Vengeance. And I have a Blue Max. So I probably recommend the Skeet Reese or probably any Lew's rod. Honestly, those are my favorite.
All right. I got one more here for you.
Water levels and clarity. Okay. Every lake I know is about 2 foot above max level flooding. It's pretty much chocolate milk. I went last week, put my bait this far in the water, and you couldn't see it anymore. So pretty much zero visibility. All the fish are feeding off vibrations and sound, and really color at this point has almost gone out the window.
So got another one here. Where's this? Yeah, this one right here.
What part of North Georgia? Cartersville. Okay, you're only about 45 minutes north of me. I live down south in Carroll County. I'm about 45 miles west of Atlanta, 30 miles east of the Alabama line, so not too far away.
So let's see what else. Steve Rohn put on here. He said the original chatterbaits have a quicker action. Like I said, I don't fish them. You can ask Gabe. I don't fish them very often. I'm just not a big chatterbait guy. If there's time to throw chatterbait, I'm throwing a spinnerbait. So or swim jig, one of the two.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same way with you. I buy just the original chatterbait. It seems to work out just fine. I don't know. We don't fish enough to have it dialed in that much to know the little subtle differences. If you're a tour pro and you're on the water, you're on the water like 250 days a year, you can you get those things tuned in. You can figure out specific positions, situations where one of them would work better than the other. Obviously, if you're fishing a highly pressured body of water and everybody's throwing an original chatterbait, then maybe the jackhammer with just a little bit of different sound, or a thunder cricket, or the Picasso bladed jigs.
Right.
That
maybe just a little bit of tweaking that sound can make a big difference. But
I'm sure it's no different than a different spinnerbait. You got a Colorado or a Colorado and a willow on one, or 2 willows on one, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different sound.
Right.
So
Yeah, the main thing I look for in my chatterbaits is just maybe sometimes I'll go with a different blade color. I might choose a black blade rather than a silver, or sometimes I want that gold blade. Sometimes that works a lot better. But
there's another one for you there.
black spinnerbait, I would assume so. I've been using the black chatterbait a lot, and it's been doing really good. And like they said, really, you could probably throw either one in the situation and probably do just as good, spinnerbait or chatterbait. A lot of times, the only times I choose chatterbait is I don't know if you guys have found this out, but they're a lot easier to throw into the wind. So on a really windy day, I'll probably prefer to throw a chatterbait more than I would a spinnerbait.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that makes sense. A lot more compact. They don't, spinnerbait is notorious about kind of whirling around in the wind
Doing
and
the
twisting your
helicopter.
line up. Yeah, I mean, unless you fire just perfect where it's sitting there vertical, it's gonna do this on you. It's
Right.
You guys are you're not throwing heavy enough spinner baits.
well, I don't know, man. I throw a pretty heavy one. I throw that 3/4 ounce and
What's that?
it's
3/4?
yeah, or one, whatever, somewhere around there. What do you use for a trailer? Do you have certain trailers that you like on your chatterbaits?
Yes. Probably my number one favorite thing to use are these Zoom split tails. That's probably my number one chatterbait trailer out there.
Okay.
Either that or a lot of times I'll take a Zoom super fluke and just put that right on the back end of it. As long as it's the straight tail super fluke and not the paddle tail, those probably work the best as well.
What about twin tail grubs? Do you ever try those?
I have not. I have not tried those. Sometimes I'll put a crawfish on the back, depending on how the fish are biting.
Yeah.
Right.
That split tail is that's old school, man. Not a lot of people fish that anymore, really.
Yeah,
that's
one of my dad's old school tips that he passed down to me.
Nice. So those little tails, do they got a lot of movement because of the blade?
They really work good with the chatterbait because when it's sitting there vibrating, the tails are just going every which way. And sometimes that works better than like people put a swim bait on the back and it kind of takes away from the action of the chatterbait.
Straightens it out.
And the split tails just actually complement it.
Mm-hmm.
You just sold a pack of split tails because I'm gonna be buying some, or I'm gonna dig them out. I got some in storage somewhere.
So here's another question from Ron there too.
A rage blade around wood. I'm guessing that's just a different type of a chatterbait blade. I'm guessing that's what he's saying. I'm not too familiar with a rage blade. You guys might have to help me on that one.
Well, I think that rage blade is and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I know Strike King came out with their version of a chatterbait. It's a couple years ago, and instead of it's got a different blade on it. It's really tall, and it's actually the bottom of the lip is weighted, and the snap comes out of the front, but there's still a lot of blade above the tie-in point, and it rides higher in the water. If that's what you guys are talking about, I've fished quite a few of those, and a chatterbait's just notorious about getting hung up in the wood. It's just I bought some of the Z-Man makes one that's weedless that's got a fiber weed guard on it, and it's a whole lot better. But your hookup ratio is not as good. I mean, you got to jack them on that thing. It just seems like that you don't get them. Obviously, an exposed hook is going to be better than anything with a weed guard, but that's really, from what I've found, that's the best way to battle getting hung up in the wood with the chatterbait.
Right.
So here's another one. Here's a question from David.
Absolutely. I'm big on the you guys know the dip and glow that you get from Walmart. I always keep the chartreuse or red in my tackle box, and as you can tell from that swim bait, I'm always dipping the tails, usually in red, but sometimes if the water's really muddy, I'll dip it in chartreuse, and that's naturally got garlic scent in it. But usually if I'm getting bites on a bait and they're not fully committing to it or they're just swiping at it, I'll spray some scent on it, and usually that helps them commit, or if they get a taste of it or something. But yeah, I'm pretty big on scents.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I've seen it make a difference enough times to where I'm a big believer. And I don't always do it because sometimes I get lazy, but I usually keep a can of that Bang brand. It's like an aerosol spray. And
yes,
if the bite's getting real tough and I just need to reset my mind and get a little confidence, I'll soak that sucker down. And you typically do get some bites. I think it takes your scent. If nothing else, it takes the human scent off of that bait,
right.
And it encourages that fish to commit and hang on to it a little bit longer.
Yeah, by all means, if your partner is downwind from you, spray it close to the water.
Yeah.
That stuff is terrible tasting, I can tell you.
Yes, and the dip and glow, if you ever spill that in your tackle box or on your clothes, you're done. That stuff was coming
We had
out.
a conversation a couple weeks ago. I actually spilt it down the back of my boat or the back of my truck, like shortly after I bought it, and it was there. There was no getting it off, and like 3 or 4 days later, it was completely gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it come out, but it did.
I use those little marker pins a lot. The Spike It makes a marker pin.
Yeah.
It's a lot more controlled. You can lay it on like the top of a tackle box and just hit your pinchers on your crawl. And that way you don't have to worry about dripping on a carpet or your pants or your shirt or whatever.
Yeah, no
Right.
kidding. Yeah, stuff gets everywhere. Hank Snow said the swim bait rigged upside down works good too. So
Yes, it actually does. Yes. A lot of times, especially on a chatterbait, if I ever do put a swim bait on it, if you flip it upside down with the paddle tail, it'll actually work better than right side up. So that's a little hack.
Yeah, that's good to know.
And Ron said that yes, that was the the weighted blade that you were talking about.
Okay.
The rage blade. So,
Yeah, that bait rides a lot higher in the water. It has a tendency to come up to the surface versus a regular chatterbait. The way that it just got more surface area on that blade.
yeah, Moxon said bang, scent, and JJ's. There you go. I'll say I use both of them. I've got both of them and the Spike It. I really like the Spike It though. I think I actually like the Spike It better than the JJ's. I used to be a big JJ's fan, but I think Spike It, I mean, they're just, I don't know, it's a little cheaper. I think it works just as good.
It's easier to find too.
And
Yeah.
Spike It, one bottle of that'll last you a year, just about at least.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you don't drink it.
Yeah. Now, I'll ask both of you. Have you noticed, using like a dye like that your plastics don't last as long? Because I've noticed like on I'll say like my pinchers or something like that on the crawl, if I dye them, I notice that they get real soft and they rip very easy.
That's because you get more bites, probably. The fish are pulling the pinches off because you put that spike.
That answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't notice any difference.
Yeah,
like throwing something and I'm not getting bit. I don't notice.
Yeah, neither have I.
Let's see. Say, okay, Bassmaster said found that scents and dyes work better than the best in the muddy water. I've been catching them on, what is that?
I don't know.
Harry, you can read that?
Oh, the Berkeley Fritz side. That's a flat side crankbait that they just came out with not too long ago. I picked one of those up the other day, and I like that bait. It's I didn't catch anything on it, but I didn't throw it a whole lot. So, do you do much cranking down there?
I do a lot of square bill cranking, but the deep cranking, 12, 15 foot, not really.
Yeah. I saw one more question here. Steve Rohn had a question about pork trailers. His question
That's
is
what it was.
why isn't anybody using the pork trailers? And you can't find them anymore.
No, the Joshua's.
My dad is a firm believer.
Your dad is?
Yes, he has a couple of bottles of them that he'll throw on the back every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when them things dry up, you can't hardly get them off.
Oh God, you gotta cut them off with scissors or pipe cutters or something. It's ridiculous.
No different than the Z-Man stuff.
Yeah, the Z-Man will shrivel up too.
Yeah, and those things harden big time. I've made that mistake and left it in my tackle box. There was the swim head was gone. You couldn't get it off.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to pry it off and everything, and there was no getting that thing off.
Yeah, but those pork trailers are like leather. They're like it's pork hide, I guess. The same thing.
Yeah.
So, well, what do you think? Got any more questions on there?
Let's see. The sprint markers last 10 years. Plastic glass travels into plastic.
What do you think about noise? Steve asked a question. He says he puts rattles into soft plastics when the bite is tough. You got an opinion on rattles in a jig or rattles in soft plastic?
Oh, that ain't what it was. Sorry.
Yeah, sometimes, the way me and my dad do it, it works best for us is we'll both kind of throw something a little different. And I'll throw a jig with a rattle. He'll throw a jig with no rattle. And then if they're just biting something with a rattle on it, you know, whatever they're biting, that's what I'll be throwing. So sometimes something as small as just a little rattle make all the difference in the world.
That's good. So you guys are good partners if you're working together like that.
Yes. Every weekend it's like, you throw this, I'll throw this. We'll figure out what they're hitting. And then the first person to catch 2 fish on something, we're switching.
Right. That's smart.
Just let anybody else know, just like before or any other time we got a guest, everything is linked down in the description. We've got his Facebook page down there, his Instagram page, and his YouTube page. So any of you guys want to go over to his channel, you know, make sure you go over there, check him out, give him a subscribe button. So definitely worth it. I watch a lot of his stuff, so he catches some hogs, I'll say that. Makes me jealous most of the time because I'm still stuck in the winter. Let's see.
I like how you're catching them too on that moving stuff. We got to slow down a lot. I mean, other than the A-rig and a jerkbait, I fish a lot of shaky heads and small stuff in the wintertime just to pick up bites because they typically won't hit something moving like they will down south. So that's nice that you can power fish pretty much throughout the whole winter. You're spoiled, man.
I couldn't do it up there. I couldn't survive.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, and you go even further north and it gets even slower. You know, eventually you have to start cutting a hole in the ice and dropping something vertically on them.
Yeah,
you know?
I think we're right at that line to where it doesn't freeze enough to get out on it, but it's just enough to keep you out of the water.
Right.
It's one way or the other. So, but all right, man. Well, we appreciate you joining us. That was a good time. So we'll have to have you on here again. And
yes, sir. Anytime.
Yeah, hopefully you hit that 2,000 mark here shortly. How far away are you?
I'm almost at 1,700. So
1,700.
Yeah.
So that's a good deal, man.
You're right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I appreciate your content, man. I enjoy the conversation and the comment sections back and forth that we've had, and it's good to talk to you, dude. And keep it up, man. Tell your dad I said hi. He didn't know me, but tell him I said hi, and we joked out there in the boat. Yeah,
I'm sure he'll appreciate. You know, some folks like fishing more like he does.
Yeah.
Well, you just have next time we have you on, you'll just have to get him in the next chair. So
okay,
just talk back and forth. We'll get some old school stuff going.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure he'd enjoy that.
Yeah, have him bring in a bottle of those pork trailers.
Oh, he's got them. He's got them. It took me 2 years to convince him to actually fish with a flick shake or a wacky rig, some people might call it. And I begged him. I said, Dad, you need to throw this. And he refused. He's too old school. But I finally got him to use the flick shake. So I'm working on it. He's working on me and I'm working on him.
Right.
There you go.
That's good.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. I'll see you guys later.
All right, man. Take care, buddy.
All right, guys. I know there's probably a few comments we probably missed coming through there, but if you want to ask them again, go for it. We'll get back to them here. Okay, Bassmaster says, just saying, Georgia still holds the world record. Enough said. Yeah.
Thought it was Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, what is it, like 26?
There was like a 25-pounder caught in Japan, I think. 24 something.
Or yeah, it's something ridiculous.
I don't know.
Bug-eyed girl. So I learned all about shaky heads from the Tin Horse. There you go.
Hey, nice, man.
Yeah, speaking of which, I got to tell you this. So,
okay. You got a shaky head story?
Not a shaky head, a bedhead story.
Okay.
So I finally said, okay, I'm going to get some bedheads. I'm going to fish with them this winter. I really wanted to fish with them for the spawn. So I go to order them, and somebody's site says they're out.
Really?
See, I finally, it's telling me something.
That's what happens when you go to every sports show in the Southwest, Southeast, or
Moxon
wherever.
He's doing good, so it's good to see him doing
that. Bedhead is,
it's very unique.
It's pretty cool. It comes through rock really well. I mean, I threw it a couple trips out on Kincaid and some rock stuff, and it's got that flat side on it. Obviously, it stands up, but something about that head being a little bit bigger, the shape of it helps it come through rock pretty good. So I think it's great. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's got that little bit thicker hook. So, and actually, I didn't have a problem. I thought I would because the hook point is really, really sharp. But it's really made for a heavier line like bait casting stuff. Because it's got a little bit beefier hook. So if you guys are,
which feeds into my thing,
right, that's right up your alley. And I was throwing it on 8-pound test with 15-pound braid, and I was still hooking up. But I'm used to my go-to shaky head has always been something a little bit more finessey, but I think it's going to work just fine, especially if you're throwing a little bit bigger rod and stuff. A lot of guys fish shaky head on bait casting stuff.
Yeah. Now, see, I had a few of them, but I lost them in my pond, so I was going to order some more, and that's what happened. So
I got some of them. I'll sell you a pack.
Yeah, I bet you will. No, Moxon said he'd take care of me, so he's going to get them in. He said hopefully next week they'll all be back in stock. So
yeah,
that's good.
22.5 in Japan, Georgia Bassmasters.
And then he said 24.5. Let's see, 24.5 in Georgia, all natural lake, no feeders or artificial steroids. That's a hog, absolute hog. I don't even think I'd want to see a fish that big come up on my line. I'd probably have a stroke right there.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's just crazy. I'm still looking for that 10-pounder, the double digit.
Yeah, no kidding. So,
Tom says there was another company called, what do you say, Super Pork that didn't dry out, and if it did, you could just drop it back in the bottle and recharge it. Yeah. I think they stopped making it too. Yeah, there's a story behind that. Something about the actual pork rind got harder to find. It was kind of like just a throwaway scrap stuff there for a while.
I was going to say, as much bacon as I eat, surely there'd be enough hide around here somewhere to get some.
Yeah, there's a reason behind it. It's not just because it wasn't selling anymore and everybody went to plastics. There's an actual there was a shortage of the pig hide. Maybe they're using it for something else. I don't know.
Well, check this out.
Let's see. Tom says I found some pork chunks in an old tackle box. Also some pork trailers with hair on them that Guido Hibben used to push.
Yeah.
Guido with hair. So was that Guido's hair? Or
I think it was hog hair.
It's hog hair. Okay, I got you, man. I'm like, man, you better say that. That's worth some money. Put that in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Okay, Bassmaster said it's in the 30s or 40s, or the story behind the fish. Though kind of funny. Okay. See, Ron said Outcast tackle makes a good Ned head. The Z-Man works very well.
Yeah, Ron would know. Like I said earlier, guys, he's going to be on here next week, and he does a lot of fishing up north for those smallmouth, and he's got a lot of miles on the head.
Yeah, so make sure you save all the smallmouth questions for next Monday.
Yeah, he's gonna be a good guy if you got any questions about that smallmouth stuff. And here locally too, he lives over in Illinois, so he's fishing all the same lakes that we are.
I think he said if I come over, he was going to show me all the hot spots.
He will. He'll take you out, man.
Okay, so
he'll take you out.
That's good.
Yeah, he's not a mailman or he's not a pavestone guy, so he's got a lot of time out there on the water.
Yeah, you can't trust some mail guys anyway.
No, just send your mail to California, return to sender.
Did you hear all the stuff going on with the? I guess it was monster bass. Everybody's boxes they were getting were just completely destroyed, and they were blaming the mailman, they were blaming the FedEx and everything else. And I'm like, if there was that many people, I think something else happened there.
Yeah.
Because how many people have the exact same? I mean, and these people were, I know one was from Georgia, one was from Oklahoma. I forgot where the other guy's at. But I mean, it's 3 different states completely far away.
Were they crushed or something?
Yeah, they were crushed, tore apart and everything. And I'm like, I would, in my opinion, I would think it's probably somewhere coming out of where monster bass is at.
Yeah.
Because for all of them to be that way, I mean, that's.
I'm thinking, here's my theory on this. I got lots of theories. I think the guy that was their drop guy that went and picked up all the outgoing monster box packages was probably sponsored by them at one time. He lost his sponsorship, and now his whole goal in life is to crush every box that comes out of there. That's just a theory. I don't know. I mean,
maybe it is
a theory. That's what Greg told me earlier.
Yeah.
So no, we handle the postal service. I can speak for the postal service.
Steve said it's the coronavirus.
Hey man, it's taking over the world. I hope it doesn't come around here. You know, it's funny. I saw a post where we deliver a lot of those little bitty packages out of China. So like if you order like a phone charging cord or a wall socket, you can order that stuff out of China for like 30 cents or something. Well, it all comes in these little bubble wrapped packages. They're little white packages. And you know how kids like to pop the bubbles and stuff. Well, somebody said each one of those bubbles is filled with air that was from China. So something to think about. Just take that package, put it in the trash. Don't give it to your kids to start popping, and you know they can contaminate the whole house and take over the world.
They said that, but it had to be on a living organism.
I heard it can live up to 20 days.
I don't know.
Did you hear that?
I don't know. I stick with the Bud Light virus. I don't know anything about the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's treated you well. I mean, that usually lasts a day. Like the next morning, ibuprofen, you're good to go.
A couple hours.
It's kind of like that 12-hour stomach flu.
Just, it always happens on Mondays. I don't know why.
On Mondays.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, it was a pretty good stream. So, did it right at a flat hour. Oh, you was talking about
the pork frogs.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys watching. Really help. You know, it's nice you guys support the channel and show up every Monday. It's pretty nice. Gives us something to do and something to talk about. And if you guys have any topics you guys want to go over, we were supposed to get on into the pre-spawn a little bit and talk about that, but other things kind of rose up there. So
yeah, we get kind of sidetracked, man. It was fun though. It's good. I hope you guys are enjoying these guests. In fact, after we get off of here, me and Greg are going to go over the lineup maybe for at least the next several weeks. We've got guests lined up, and every one of the guests is pretty interesting. They come from different areas and they've got different stories and different ways that they fish, and just like all you guys, everybody's got a different point of view on things, which is nice.
And I to be honest with you, I'd like to, if any of you guys know anybody that's probably got a YouTube channel that probably lives up north, they would want to come on the show. That's kind of one thing I'd like to look for, because everybody we talk to kind of is Midwest or South pretty much. So I'd like to get somebody from the north, and I know we got Ron on next week. He's going to talk about the north a little bit, but that's more of a summer fishing type deal. What do you say? He goes up in there July or August?
He goes May to like October. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of hitting the really hot months, but I like to talk to a couple of guys, maybe to do a little ice fishing or something like that. Because I don't think either one of us have any clue on ice fishing. So I think that'd be a neat topic to go over.
Georgia Bassmaster says he's got swim bait coming from China. He's going to baptize it in Lysol. Man, that's a good plan, dude. Definitely a good plan. I think that spike it would probably kill the coronavirus too.
Oh, yeah. Just pour the whole thing on there.
Yeah, just make it cover the virus and chartreuse.
I'd probably go ahead and take a little shot of it, make sure you don't get it. So
yeah, it's all good, man. Yeah, Ron says May. Yeah, Ron's up there in May, which is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we appreciate it, and we will see you next Monday.
See y'all later.